Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1954 Smith Corona Super Vintage Portable Typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. And these are your margins. This is your left margin. I'm going to set this around 2 or 3. And the right one is around 70-ish. It's about the length of a page. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. Want to make sure that those margins are set in between the 2 paper fingers in front. And this is the paper bill that sits on top. It's got 3 rollers, and that's when you know you're dealing with a nice Smith Corona typewriter, when you get a paper bill with 3 rollers plus the fingers on front to help hold that page down nice and tight. So that left margin is a little too close to the left finger here, and I can move the fingers too, but I like them right on the edge. If you have the margin too close to that finger, you can get your vibrator might get stuck on that, and you'll have those first couple characters smudged or even just out of place altogether. So I'm going to move it a little bit. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3 spaces. Right now we have it on single. But if you want double, you just flip that switch back. It skips 2, 1 more, it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep that on single and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line and switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. You flip that all the way down. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. So we're going to move that down for red. Beautiful typing machine. You just got to kind of help feed that sometimes. Beautiful print. This is one of the best typewriters ever made, especially in the USA. Print looks beautiful. And this is just one step down from the Silent Super, but I can't really tell the difference, to be honest with you. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. I'm gonna flip this down. I've only had, I think, as far as I've been paying attention, I've been doing typewriters for a long time, but I used to just fix them and list them, and I didn't really care about branding and history and all that. As far as I can remember, this is only the second Super that I've had. I've had tons of Silent Supers and Silents, so these might be a little bit more rare as far as what I get. Shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the top left, works great. Tab on the right side. Let's see what we have here. We got tabs set at 10 space intervals, and to clear them, you just go to the tab you want to clear and then hit CL button, and then they should clear. There's a bunch in there. So now we're going to test it. And as you can see, it kind of slams on to the end when you hit that if there's no tab set. So I like to always set one somewhere in the middle. So that way when it gets hit, it stops at that tab instead of slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. Below that is MR, stands for margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, the mechanism blocks you from printing. So if you hit that MR button, it will allow you to go all the way to the end or until you get stuck on that paper finger there. And I'm going to set the color back to black. Backspace on the top left, and open the hood. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling clockwise to the right. If you want to switch that direction, there's a switch above the backspace. You flip that up and it'll pull counterclockwise to the left. We want it to keep going to the right. Touch control right on the inside here from low to high. The higher you go to the left, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. They do respond faster, but you have to hit them harder. I like it on low. And I think that's it with the keyboard. On the right side of the carriage is the carriage release behind the knob. And I really like this design where it's metal instead of hard plastic. The newer models have a hard plastic carriage release and they break off all the time. So if you need one, check out my shop. I 3D print those since they don't make them anymore. And they are pretty close to the original design. And this is the carriage lock. You lift it up and it releases the carriage and locks in the middle. So when you have it in the case, it protects the escapement, which is the mechanism that allows the typewriter to move one space at a time. And if you damage that, you're dealing with a major problem. Sometimes maybe you can't even get that fixed because They don't make these parts anymore. The only people who have parts are people like me who fix typewriters for a living. Carriage release on the left, very nice. And if you pull this out, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it in, you get those clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. And last function is this is the same actually as it just disables the spacing. You flip it up and you get the clicks. And the last function is the page gauge, which is on the inside there of the platen. And what you do is you just want to set right below 11. This one might be a little different. I think you set it right there. You just set that to 11, right below the 11, and then you load the page from there, and it just starts to tell you at the end when you start getting close to the end of the bottom of the page. So that's on the left side, that's 2 inches, and then 1.5, 1 inch, and that's the bottom. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.